Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am doing my March wrap-up part 1. I'm fully aware that March isn't over yet, at least as I'm filming this. Who knows when this video actually will be up, but I'm leaving for Japan tomorrow as I'm filming this, and I wanted to just wrap up all the books that I read this month so far, and then the rest of the books that I read this month will either be in my April wrap-up or like in its own tiny little wrap up. So far this month I have read 13 books, so I will talk about them. The first book I finished was A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. I had a goal to read all of Sarah's books before leaving and I did it, so you will see a couple of her books in this video. I had actually started this before the new year. I listened to 200 pages with my best friend, but then we went our separate ways and I finished it. I read the rest of it physically. I love these characters so much. I don't have words. I feel like it has its issues, it has a lot of weird things in it, blah blah blah, but I feel like the plot, if I'm gonna think about the story, it's like really well planned out. Some of the things are a bit over the top, but that's like how Sarah is, but it's really addicting. It's really like a story if you at least have started to care about the characters, which I guess you have by the third book if you bother going all the way there. It's like a story that really makes you punch in the feels. Some things could always have been handled better. It wraps up really nicely. I feel like she planned it really well. It got a satisfying conclusion. All storylines were wrapped up because, you know, it's coming a spin-off story. I am really excited to see the characters we get again in that. I can't manage apparently to speak my thoughts here, but I felt a lot reading this and I had just the greatest time. Again, really excited to continuation of the series. I also read Promised Neverland Volume 3. This is by Kai Shirai and the art is by Posuka Demisu. This really follows a bunch of orphans in this orphanage, and they found out a secret about the orphanage and why it's being run the way it is. Every day they wake up early and they all help with breakfast. They also do this test before they go out to play. We find out really quickly why it's like that, but again, I guess it's sort of a spoiler because you need to figure it out on your own. Even though if you read on the synopsis on at least the first volume, you will see like the instant spoiler if you want to read about it, I guess. Here the story just deepens more. There were some twists in this I didn't expect, but I read another volume of this, so I will talk even more about it a bit later in the wrap up. I then read Our Shah and the End of Time by Roshni Chakshi. This is the first book in the Our Shah quartet, so it's going to be 4 books. This follows Our Shah, who finds out that she is a reborn Pandava. It is based upon Indian mythology. She goes out on an adventure to stop the sleeper from stopping time from ending. I filmed a full video review of this, and as I said there, it really reminds me of Percy Jackson in just the best ways. I absolutely had the greatest time with this, and I definitely recommend if you want an adventure middle grade based on mythology kind of story, because this is also, you know, full of diversity, because you get this another kind of rap that you didn't get in Percy Jackson, and I love that. So I really had a great time with this, and I'm really excited for the second book as well. Again, check out my full review if you want even more thoughts on it. I then finished The Path of Daggers by Robert Jordan. This is the 8th book in the Wheel of Time series. I started the audiobook for this in February, but I didn't finish it until March. The Wheel of Time follows these 3 characters, Ran, Matt, and Perrin. They are from this really small town called Two Rivers, and then this Asadai shows up, which is basically like a wizard, but they're not because they're just women, or like a sorceress I can say, and she basically tells them that they have to come with her on this journey because evil is after them. They are also different because they are Tyrian, which means that in the Wheel of Time, time is like a pattern, it goes over and over, but if you are Tyrian, you go into the pattern, and instead of the pattern changing you change the pattern. I mean, it sounds so complicated, but it makes sense. The world is so believable, and definitely the strongest part of the story, because everything else is just so long. This whole book here, which is like 500 pages long, feels like I watched one episode of like Game of Thrones. And thinking about how many hours that it goes into just reading one book, it's just, it doesn't feel like it pays off in the end of what time and effort you give into the book. Like the first few books definitely like had a beginning, an ending, and then something happened. The last two or last three maybe just feels like one episode where you just move some pieces, but nothing grand has really happened throughout the books. At least the last 2 months just really feel like one episode of a series. It's even slower than it even was in the beginning because I still felt the story was slow there, I guess. But I do love some of the characters. I do really enjoy the world. It has some really great world building here. Like the fantasy world is amazing. It also has other characters, what I just said. Like it has female point of views as well. I didn't bother getting into those because we were already way too complicated where we were talking. I will probably continue listening to these on audiobook, at least the next 2 ones, and then we'll see. It was a great episode of Wheel of Time. That's what I would call it. I then read My Hero Academia, Volume 17 by Kohei Horikoshi. My Hero Academia is set in a world in the future where 80% of the population has a quirk, which is basically like a power. It doesn't necessarily have to be a superpower, but they do have like a quirk that makes them different. Doria is one of the 20% of the population that doesn't have a quirk, and he really wants to be a superhero, which is sort of, you know, hard without a superpower because it's grown into superhero super villain society. It's not really a spoiler, but he gets this superpower from one of the biggest superheroes in the society, and he needs to work really hard to manage these powers, which he's never had before. It starts hero school. We follow a billion characters at the hero school. Midoriya is the main character, and then we just follow them on adventures, beating villains and stuff, and it's great. Here we are like in the middle of the battle in this one, and I was like, oh my god, because it was intense, and there was this thing that happened here, and I'm really curious how Kohei Horikoshi is gonna like explore that, or if he's just gonna be like, nah, it didn't happen after all. So we'll see. We'll see in the next volume, which I don't know when I will read because I'm leaving. But you know, I'm going to Japan, so they probably have manga there, but I need to limit what I buy. I had a fun time with this. I was very shocked. It was just actually just a super long battle. In the end, the author said that this arc is over the next volume, and I am actually a bit glad because it wasn't really like my favorite arc, I guess. I then read Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Oh my god, I finished Throne of Glass. I finished this beast of a book. Oh yeah. If you don't know what Throne of Glass is, I guess I never said what A Court of Thorns and Roses were about either. Whoops. But if you don't know what Throne of Glass is, it follows, in the beginning of the series, it follows Selena Sardothien, who is an assassin, and she enters this competition to become the champion of the king, I guess. And the story here is not the same story as they were in the beginning. I feel like the evolution of Throne of Glass is just like the weirdest one to follow. It's really fascinating. I feel like it clearly tells that Sarah changed her mind throughout the story what she wanted to tell, and I feel like that's fine. Like, your story should be set in stone. You should tell the story you feel most like telling, but as a reader you don't know what's going behind the scenes. And I just feel like there was this shit, and then suddenly we ended up here. This story here does not look like the story we had in the beginning. I like that evolved. It shouldn't be the same all the way. It just feels so weird just when I think about the books. They're like, what happened? But that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. Kingdom of Ash just feel like a 900 pages long battle, and I guess that's what it is. But the problem here is that nothing surprised me anymore. Like, even A Court of Thorns and Ruin had some twists, had some plot lines that were like, oh my god. There were surprises there and really moments that caught me. Here, like, everything was expected. It was like we've been building up to this for like years, and then like we are here and everything was as expected. And I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing, but even though there's a final and you wrap up the story, I feel like you still should have surprises coming in for the reader. And here everything was just as we thought it would end, I guess. I was expecting more, actually. I wouldn't say it was bad, I would just say that I was expecting more. Some parts of it were really nice, but it just felt really long. There was also this part where I literally started crying, and I don't know how I feel about it, but I can't talk about it because that's such a spoiler. But oh my god, I did not expect that to happen. But that was not like a big plot point, that was just a tiny part of this huge book. I don't know what to say. It's hard to talk about, but I finished it. It has some fantasy tropes that I just hate those tropes. They're so typical in fantasy. I don't want to again spoil it, but maybe in the future I will make a video about tropes I don't like, but really had those plot points in here, and it's so typical in like finals and stuff, and I had forgotten them from the last book, and then it just all came back. But then the result of that was not surprising at all. I understand it, I don't like it personally, because I think it's like a cheap way to resolve things, I guess. I always like stories after happily ever after, actually, more like now that I've finally done all this to save the world, what comes after. Here we don't get an answer, I guess, like we just need to think ourselves through it, but like in Court of Windsor we're getting more, so we can see actually what the world they were building. Here we will never know. I don't know what more to say. I enjoyed, as I said, a lot of parts of it. It was great, but it felt really long. This long battle. Woohoo. I then read Shades of Magic, The Steel Prince, Volume 1 by V.E. Schwab. This is a prequel to the Shades of Magic series, following Maxim, who is Rai's father, but this is when he was young, like Rai didn't exist this time. It follows him and why he got the name as the Steel Prince. In here he sort of is being sent away to this really bad city from his father to learn to behave himself, and he encounters someone called the Pirate Queen. I mean, he doesn't really encounter her like she's the evil guy. She's the evil guy. He encounters someone else that is also present in A Darker Shade of Magic, or at least A Conjuring of Light, the last book in that series. I really enjoyed this. I thought the art was really nice, and how you get to see the magic is great. It's a good visualizing, because with all the magic it's really nice to see it visualized. I am excited to continue the series when I do, and I'm really excited that I got this first volume before leaving, and I at least got to read that one. We then have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices series. It's set in 1878 in London, and it follows again the Shadowhunters in the Shadowhunter world. I reread this because I have the audiobook, book 2 and 3. Book 1 was non-audible, so I felt like I just had to reread the first one myself. I would say, sadly, I didn't enjoy this as much as the first time I read it in 2013, which is now quite a few years ago. I feel like the story, really plot, and like the twist is like really easy to see coming, but maybe like I read it before, so I don't know, but I feel like the plot was a bit like meh, and here you don't really get to know any of the characters that well. Like, I know how they really are, but I read the other 2 books, but like if I look at just what I get here, you don't really get much. I thought it was more moments actually between Jem and Will, but here they just don't basically interact almost at all. We have like one sweet moment between them. I remember them being so fun for each other, and just like, I don't know, I think those moments comes later. I wouldn't say it was bad at all, like I really enjoyed it. I still love this series with all my heart, but it wasn't like that 5-star read I had those years ago. It just felt a bit flat, and yeah, I gave it only 4 stars this time. But I think audiobooks and the next 2 books will be better, I think. I don't know why I think that, but I just do. Yay! As I said, I read another volume of The Promised Neverland. This is volume 4, obviously, because the last volume was volume 3. And this one was amazing. This one had twists I did not see coming. In the beginning, everything was twisty and weird, and there was like plot twists, but they were a bit like, okay, I've seen this before, it's fine. Here, I think the story was brought to a totally new level. I absolutely love it. I get goosebumps thinking about it. I gave this like 5 stars, and I never give these 5 stars almost, because it really needs to capture me, and this one did. I was sitting there gasping and saying, oh my god out loud, and I'm just so excited for the new volume, which I won't be getting anytime soon. I just seriously, I can't express how much I enjoyed this 4th volume. I am in awe, and I just think the author is really smart, and I'm really excited for more. 5 out of 5 stars. Will recommend the series so much. Like, at least read the 4th volume, and then you can tell me if you don't want to continue. Like, seriously, just oh my god, I just thinking about it makes me excited. I then also read A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. I didn't say what A Court of Frost and Roses were about earlier, but the first book in the series, at least, is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I guess, but it stops being that in the second book. This one is like not the 4th book in the series, but like 3.1. This is just a short novella. It's like 200 pages long. I had really low expectations for this because I saw everyone hating it. No one really liked it, but I enjoyed it. I don't really see why people didn't like it it like that much, because I think mostly people were annoyed that you just get this short shit here, and I know it seems like the publisher just want to earn money, but because like the story doesn't really have like a concrete plot, people I guess didn't see the point in it, but I didn't want to think about all that, and I really enjoyed myself because it was just like this cute short story where you just have like warm moments with the characters, but at the same time you sort of get happily after where you see where the characters are at and where you see the damage that's done in the previous installments, how that affected them, and I like that. I feel like a bunch of extra scenes that is like cut out of the story. It's just one scene, by the way, but it feels like just cute moments that doesn't fit in like a big book, and here you just get a novella with it, and I enjoy that. Like I like moments more than I like intensity constantly. Maybe it was because I didn't expect that much, that I didn't have that much issues with it, but I thought it was really nice. I liked being with the characters again for a short amount of time. We also get a teaser for how the next book in the series will be, and I am really excited for that one when it is released. Some parts of this were a bit like, okay, but some parts of it really hit me strongly, and again, if you care about the characters, then my heart got mushed. Okay, we then have Bloom Interview by Nakatana Neo, and this one follows Yu, which is the girl with the pink hair, peachy hair. She has always wanted to experience great love, but she never feels that's heart beating for someone special. Then Nanami here falls for Yu, but Yu doesn't return these feelings because Nanami is all flustered, but Yu is just like normal, and she's like, do I really have feelings for her? Not really, but she's just letting Nanami love her, and they're super cute, and I ship them a lot. This is like a super cute Yuri manga, really innocent. This plot is not like ridiculously stupid either, because I read a Yuri manga where it was just really annoying, like the drama between them, and here is just really cute, and it's like the story doesn't just fall apart, and I am really enjoying it so far. I'm excited to read the next volumes, and I've started even the anime now, and it's adorable and beautiful, and I really like it. So if you're on an FF cute, really cute, I said cute a billion times there, then check this out and you can enjoy cuteness. Cute, very cute. I then managed to finish Descendant of the Crane by Johan He. This is an ARC, an advanced reader's copy. This one is a Chinese inspired fantasy, so I was really excited for it. It is beautiful, and I just heard great things about it. It follows Hesina, who is a princess in this kingdom of Yan. Her father died recently, and she is completely convinced that he has been murdered. She wants to start a trial to investigate into his murder. But to do that, she needs, I guess, evidence or something to convince the government part that like there's reasons to even start this trial. She goes and uses this person called a sooth, and a sooth is a person with magical abilities. Magic has been banned in these countries for centuries, so she's basically committing high treason, and that's how the story starts out. I don't want to talk too much about it because again, I'm gonna film a full review of it, but I was really let down by this. I am really sad to say that I didn't really enjoy it that much. I wanted to love it so much, you have no idea, but it just really didn't give me anything. The writing was super off for me. It was not something that I like to read at all. How they explain things was so weird. They were in a dialogue talking and explaining things, and then suddenly we went out of the dialogue where just the narrator-ish explains what they are talking about, and then we went in the dialogue again after we're done talking about it, and it was just a super weird choice. There was no reason to go out of the dialogue. Just keep the dialogue there, girl. It's easier to read a dialogue than a full-length text, and I think a lot of people prefer to just read the dialogue. That's just like preferences, personal preferences, but again, I don't feel like the story was strong. It was really jumbled and everywhere. There is a coherent story, but like then there was these reveals, and it's like, oh my god, but then it's super confusing because in the next chapter it turned out the reveal wasn't actually that reveal that we thought it was, and I'm like, oh okay. And I don't know, by the end I was really tired and I wanted it to be over, but again, I'm gonna talk more about it in my review. But I didn't really enjoy it that much. I wouldn't really recommend it either. Like, I would rather recommend a better fantasy, a better story. But I gave it like 2 stars, 2.5 stars. Check my review out if you want more thoughts, because I'm gonna give them more in depth in that one. The last thing that I read for this wrap up was The Grip from the Other Side, Volume 6. This follows Shiva, who lives on the outside, and on the outside there is no other humans because there is this curse going around. If you're touched by one of these black creatures here, you will get cursed and become one of the black creatures, I guess. Shiva has been living for the outside for a long time and she shouldn't be able to, but she is. She lives together with this dude here who is teacher. On the inside all the humans are living. They are living safe behind these walls. There's of course so much more. The story evolves a lot, but that's like just the general gist of it. It's a really like mysterious kind of feel to it, but it's really sweet but dark, but not scary, more like mystical, atmospheric. I don't know. I really have been enjoying this series. It is really captivating and I love Shiva. She's adorable. If you want a really easy manga to read, actually I would recommend this one, like if you want to just start out, because there's not a lot of text in it and the art is just wonderful. That was it. That was all the books I was gonna wrap up today. Again, not all the books I read in March, but part 1 of my March wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am leaving tomorrow for Japan as I'm filming this. I can't believe it. Most likely I will be editing this when I'm in Japan, so it will feel super strange. Thank you so much for watching and you will see me soon in a new video. Bye!